This is the Steve Gruber Show.
All right, welcome to it. It is the Steve Gruber Show. Glad to have you on board live from the heartland of the country and coming to you from Studio G. I'm fighting for you from the foxhole of freedom. And the question is today, who do you want in your foxhole? It's a no panic zone, my friends. There's always lots to talk about, nothing to worry about because we've got this under control. Here are three big things you need to know this hour. Number one, California Republicans suing the Newsome Administration to block what many see as an illegal attempt to redistrict the state in opposition to the Constitution there. Number two, in D.C., President Trump ready to double the number of National Guard members in the streets of the nation's capital. Residents seem to like it. And number three, speaking of all that, let's take a look at the midterms, right? President Trump ready to clean up the fraud in mail-in ballots. He wants to eliminate them altogether. And it must be something right about it because everybody is freaking out on the left, like Mark Elias. He was one of the instruments of destruction for Hillary Clinton. Mark Elias, one of those attorneys who did everything he could to promote Russiagate, right? Everything he could to promote Russiagate. And he's panicking about the potential end of mail-in ballots because it will end their path to cheating outright. I guess Trump must be right over the target. Listen to this.
So Donald Trump is telling us that. He is not hiding the ball. He's not like pretending to be doing something else. That is what he is saying. And it is about damn time that the institutions of this country, the legacy media, first and foremost among them, wakes the starts to report and say what Donald Trump himself is saying. I mean, the God, I'm sorry for swearing. I'm sorry for taking the Lord's name in vain, but their headline after Donald Trump's executive order is, and I quote, Trump previews executive order on voting. I'm sorry, what? You think what Brian and I are talking about here is Trump previewing an executive order on voting? It's as if, like, they are reporting on, Barack Obama or Joe Biden, announcing, Bald Eagle Month.
Bald Eagle Month. How about Bald-Faced Liar Month? Look, mail-in ballots are not allowed in any of the 27 countries of Europe. Not one. Why is that? Oh, because they're ripe for fraud. They were tried a couple of places in Europe. That's not allowed. You can't even have absentee ballots in pretty much every country in Europe. You know why? Fraud. So you're in the hospital, you've been banged up in a car accident. I want to vote. Then go vote. But I can't leave my hospital bed. Guess you're not voting. Too bad. Radical alt-left Democrats, however, want mass mail-in ballots in America. They talk about democracy, but they don't mean it. They talk about it, but they don't mean it at all, in fact. Radical alt-left Democrats like Colorado's Secretary of State are freaking out that mail-in ballots that are ripe for fraud could soon be eliminated here, as they should be, by the way. Here's another example of the left freaking out. Go.
This is an attempted power grab by Donald Trump. He is attacking democracy, and we will not let him win. Look, he has absolutely no power to issue an executive order on elections. The Constitution is extremely clear. States oversee elections, not Trump. I will fight him on this. We have beat him over and over in attempts to roll back mail ballots in 2020, and I plan to do that again. We will not allow him to disenfranchise millions of American voters for his petty games and trying to hold his weak MAGA control over the country.
Kind of hard to take her serious, isn't it? His weak MAGA control over the country. Destroying democracy. No, what destroys democracy are systems in which people are allowed to cheat. Systems where it's easy to cheat, like mail-in ballots, which is why they're not legal in places like Europe. Any of the countries in Europe ban those. In fact, I don't know of any country where mail-in ballots are legal. I'm going to go ahead and do a little search here and try to find out. Meanwhile, when it comes to securing elections, the left is also freaking out because ICE agents could be in the neighborhood of the polling station. And that could prevent illegals from voting. Wait a second. They didn't want the illegals to vote, right? They told us that. They didn't want the illegals to vote. They told us that, right? Right? So wait a second. I'm confused. Steve Bannon nails it here, as he should. Listen.
They're whining. They're petrified over at MSNBC that, and CNN that, hey, they're going to be, since we're taking control of the cities, there's going to be ICE officers near polling places. You damn right. Write this down in your number 2 pencils over at CNN and MS Now. We're not going to allow any illegal aliens to vote. If you don't have an ID, if you're not a citizen, you're not voting. So you can whine and throw your toys at the pram all you want. That's going to happen.
All right, so there you go. So here I am. I'm doing the question here on AI again. And I said, what countries allow for mass mail-in ballots? Oh, it gives me a list of 8 states: California, Colorado, Hawaii, blue, 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 Nevada, blue, Oregon, blue, Utah, red, Vermont, blue, Washington, blue. So one red state allows it, but not countries. Let's see. The countries that allow absentee ballots, not mass mail-in ballots, absentee ballots. Australia, voters can request a postal ballot. Austria, you can request a postal ballot. Canada, of course. Denmark, Finland, Germany, Iceland, Liechtenstein, Luxembourg, New Zealand, South Korea, and the UK. Except they don't allow it in Northern Ireland and the UK. Other countries allow it for some people, but now it's a very small. Only 12 countries allow for mail-in ballots. Yeah, only 12 countries. Countries that do not allow it: Brazil, Colombia, Costa Rica, the DR, Honduras, Jamaica, Russia, Ukraine. No mail-in ballots. Mail-in ballots are ripe for fraud. Fraud. And everybody knows it. So you can request a mail-in ballot, but ones that are just shipped out the way it's done in this country, no country does that. And I stand corrected about some of the countries in Europe. There are 3 here that allow for it, or 4. If you consider Liechtenstein and Luxembourg to be a country together, then it's 4. There you have it. Still to come, Joe Tyrab will be here, Minnesota State co-chair for U.S. term limits, former candidate for Congress. From Eisenhower to TikTok. How long is too long? What does he mean by that? What do I mean by that? We'll talk about it coming up.